Hi, I'm Nicola Cairncross.
Hi, hello, hey, hi.
I'm going to talk to you about success. Yes.
Hi, it's Nicola here in my customary place on the balcony in Greece. And what's been happening this week? Well, I had a fantastic interview with my friend Neil Asher yesterday. Go and check that out on YouTube. But yeah, it was just brilliant. He told me we covered all about being an entrepreneur, how he got started in his entrepreneurial journey, how he's doing with the Aussie online entrepreneurs, and what incredible results he's getting from following my Be Everywhere Online system. Now, it's funny because he taught me a few of the parts of this back in the days when we worked in Raw Local together, and then I've taken it off and honed it and you know, turned it into a bit more of a machine. And when he saw me speak in Brisbane in June, he thought, oh my god, you know, I've really got to do this for myself, it's crazy, I'm leaving money on the table. And sure enough, he started turning his emails into blog posts and his blog posts into videos, and he started a YouTube channel, he started a podcast, and he's just had someone ask him straight from his YouTube video, one of his YouTube videos, if he would take their $23 million a year business onto Amazon for them. And they came pre-sold. They didn't want to interview him or know anything about him. They just loved what he was saying in his social media content. So that's the kind of results you can get. Neil was saying specifically that this Be Everywhere Online system is such a great tool for people who don't like selling, who just want to give loads and loads of value to their potential future clients. And it's really worked for him. It's also really worked for Kate. Kate is up to week 4 or 5 now, and she's had her second client sign up. So it really can work quite quickly, apparently, especially if you have a particular expertise you want to share and you're just not getting it out there to the world. Do sign up for the free webinar at beeverywhereonline.com to find out how I could help you more with that. Went to a lovely evening drinks party at our friends over there, where the house we used to stay in last winter. That was really good fun. Just about everyone from this row of houses came. It was a really wonderful evening, and even though it rained, we just kept moving around to get away from the drips, because of course the British indomitable spirit for having a party will win out. Yeah, the weather's not been all that this week. I'm hoping it's going to improve. It's been sort of sunny with broken cloud, which means there's not been so much going down the beach stuff, which means that I've just been cracking on with creating content. And I've created module 3 of the Fast Start Masterclass. That's going into the Clicks and Leads Academy. We've done video 4 of Kate Cocker's Be Everywhere Online 12-week challenge. I've created obviously the Vzine each week, and I've also done the podcast. So it's felt like a content creation machinery this week. Also this week I wanted to congratulate Nelson on reaching the ripe old age of 20 years old. Happy birthday, Nelson, have a wonderful day, and I'm sorry I can't be there. And I want to also congratulate Phoebe on reaching 26,000 plus views on her YouTube channel. Well done, darling, just keep going. Anyway, that's it for what's been going on this week. Let's get on with the show, shall we? So this week I want to encourage you to talk to your customers. Yes, it's a radical thought for an internet marketer, I know, but it's been a very productive week for me in terms of actually talking to customers. I've had a lot of people contacting me from the 2 most trafficked posts on my website, and they've been using the online chat function. And it's been really interesting because you get to see what people know and what they don't know. And you have to be ready to change your language according to the sophistication of the inquiry. So someone coming who's brand new to everything will ask really different questions to someone who's a bit more sophisticated, knows a bit more about how internet marketing works, and who just really has got gaps in between their knowledge that they're looking to fill in. So you have to try and establish, you know, A, what the real question is, B, whether someone actually wants to hear the answer, or whether they want to hear something that moves them a little bit on in their journey, but not the whole brutal truth, because sometimes that is what you're tempted to reply with, and it wouldn't get you very far in terms of acquiring a customer. If you do a search on Google for live chat software, there are various free ones, and it just involves putting a little bit of code onto your website in the same place that your Google Analytics code would go, or your Facebook pixel, and that'll put a little widget on your website which should work on mobile or desktop, and it should enable people just to hit the widget and ask you a question. You can have a similar app on your phone, so no matter where you are, you can respond to questions on your website. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this forever. This is the kind of thing that would be outsourced to a customer support person eventually, but in the early days it's really very useful to know what kind of questions keep coming up for your customers, what kind of language they're using to ask them, and what are their concerns and objections. And it also tells you a lot about your website and whether it's easy to navigate, because some people will just ask, they won't even bother to look around your website, they'll just pop and ask the question, and you can send them a live link to the place they need to go, so it can facilitate opt-ins and sales dramatically. Now, if you don't have a website, you can do this with Facebook Messenger, and I'm getting more and more interested in this because Facebook Messenger is getting more and more sophisticated, and it also integrates with a bit of software called ManyChat. Go and have a Google of that, and what in ManyChat and Facebook Messenger enable you to do is to send push a message to someone depending on what answer they give in a question on Facebook Messenger. So you can actually have an automated series of messages, a bit like an automated series of emails, but what message people get depend on what answer they give or what button they click in your Facebook Messenger message. That's pretty cool, I think you'll agree. And you can also hook it up either immediately if you're using something like GetDrip. I know that GetDrip integrates with ManyChat, which integrates with your Facebook Messenger, so you can actually add people who send you a message and who respond accordingly to it. You add them onto your mailing list. Now, I'm working with a client right now who's working with a world famous DJ, and that his audience just simply don't use email at all. So what we're trying to do at the moment is work out how to enable a free download of his latest track, but to build the people who download the track into an audience somehow without involving an email of any kind or an email list. So that's why I've been getting more interested in this week. So there's sort of several functionalities to it. It's to enable you to be able to talk to your customers and your customers to be able to talk to you. It's to let you know what challenges they're having on your website, whether they're having navigation problems, whether they can't find your most wanted action or not, and what kind of language they're using and what kind of questions they're asking. And it's also enabling you to build a mailing list if you've got one and you're using that kind of chat software, or it enables you to build a custom audience that you could then show a Facebook ad to next time. Lots and lots of functionality, so let me just encourage you to talk to your customers a bit more often, and you'll be amazed at the difference it makes. I've made loads of sales in the last couple of weeks just from being available and having an automated reply set up on my website when people hit that little envelope to try and talk to me. Okay, so on the blog and the podcast this week, Sarah says I've got to stop alerting you as to what's upcoming because it means that you're going to click through on the wrong day and not see the thing I'm talking about. So I've been screwing it up accidentally. So I have to refer to my mobile phone because if it's on the blog, it's actually been published. So here we go. Last week's Vzine was all about being committed and making commitments to yourself, making commitments to others, and making commitments to get things done. And that's something I really notice makes the difference between people who move forward and people who don't. Some people just don't seem to move forward and get things done, whereas other people just commit to doing it. So that was Vzine number 36. And on the podcast last week, Judith and I talked about what to do when you don't get paid. But of course you know all this because you'll have watched last week's Vzine. So just in case you didn't, that was onlyatthepodcast.com/150. And last week's Vzine was number 035, and that was all about how to speed up your success. And it really does seem to make a difference when you're working with someone else, because not only do they hold you accountable, but they help you learn all the shortcuts that the veterans know and avoid the pitfalls so you don't fall down the holes. So that's pretty much it on the blog and the Vzine. Don't forget to go and check out the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the podcast now on the YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/Nicola Cairncross. We're everywhere now.